Welcome, everybody, to episode 5 of the Tranmere Rovers Road to Glory. Today we have a lot of departures and arrivals once again. Not as much as in season 2, but we still have a lot to go through to start season 3 in the EFL Championship. So we're not going to waste too much time. We are going to get right to it. So on the departure side of things, we did end up saying goodbye to our right winger Gouda, who joined middle of season 1 in the January transfer window. Very huge for the club, played really well in season 2 all the way through, but unfortunately we kind of were looking for the future, and Gouda didn't quite have the pace that we quite needed down that right side, so we did end up signing a replacement for him and letting Gouda go, as we just weren't going to be able to uphold his contract, and he was probably going to ask to leave anyways at that point. So we let him go, and then we also did let Ironside, one of our strikers from season 1, to leave. Ever since we brought in Dane Scarlett, Ironside was just kind of on the bench and maybe play a game here or there, but he was like overall 55 at this point, falling backwards really fast. So it was like you can either leave or retire, and he decided leaving was the better option. So we gave up on that, and we got rid of those two guys in the summer transfer window. But we got 5 arrivals this year. Not 10 like last season. We have only 5. Mane, the right winger, replacing Gouda, and then we had 3 loans show up. We had George Earthy at the center attacking midfielder position, and then we had Casey and Ajofri at center backs coming in on loan too. Earthy and Casey came from West Ham on loan, and Ajofri came from Man United on loan. Earthy and Casey are on a 1-year loan with a buy option, and Ajofri is on a 2-year loan with a buy option. So we wanted to see how much they would level up when playing for us. They were going to get a lot of minutes, so we were kind of going to see what their potential was going to kind of have on leveling up through the season. So excited to see what that looks like. And then Charles Cook came in very last second from the free agency at the left wing position to be behind Collier on the bench. So kind of just replacing some things up front and kind of having 2 backups for center backs for Gaber and for Negru. So we kind of had that ready to, and behind Lim also, just to have a good rotation for center back, since we kind of had problems in the past of not having enough numbers and strength at the back. So we wanted to make sure we had everything situated there. So why don't we get into telling about the next 10 games? We'll go through the next 10 games that were interesting enough to tell the story of the first half of the season. All right, to begin, first game is at Hull City. It's after an interesting time we had up to this point. Sadly, don't have the recording of the first 4 league games of the season, so kind of a quick recap on those. Not good. We had our first win as a team came in the EFL Cup against a League 1 side. We handled that very easily, so we moved on to the Carabao Cup. But in the league, we had a draw and 3 losses at that point, so we were bottom of the table, not looking good in relegation battle going into this Hull City game. So we got a good throw in here and just got some good passing and a wide open pass to Mane, who looked like was be offsides, but thankfully was not. I was able to put that in the back of the net. We then were able to go down the far side with Collier, passes it up to Fofana. Again, just defense is caught out with not a lot of room, and Collier gets a nice little goal there. That was kind of a common theme this game. We just seemed to be running into counterattacks, and they just had no defense in the back whatsoever to be able to counteract any of this, as Charles Cook gets a chance with the ball for the first time here and passes it right up to Pasquale and gets the 3rd goal for Tranmere Rovers in the 88th minute. Just a good bounce back win to be like our first win in the league all year. it just wasn't looking good for the longest time. So to be able to get a goal there was very, very needed. Which then brings us to our second game against Birmingham, where we didn't get off to as strong of a start here. In roughly the 24th minute, Birmingham was able to make a push and get a goal to start the game. This will be a common theme through the beginning part of this season, where we are just kind of starting a little bit slow in these games, and they get a nice little early start. We then thankfully get to the second half and are able to put a little bit of an attack together for once, where Earthy is able to run in and get a goal for us and start to prove that this loan signing was possibly a really good choice, and he is starting to show a little bit of life. However, we do get to the 87th minute, and Birmingham kind of just puts on a passing clinic on finding some openings here. We just did not attack at all there when the guy was walking across our end of the field, and then they just started opening our defense a lot here to get a good goal here in the 90th-ish minute of extra time, and almost got the ball there, and it just goes right back to their feet and off the post and in. And another disappointing loss at home, and just that is the story of our life at the beginning of this season. Just could not get a lucky good start, and it continues into the Bristol City game, where we thought, okay, maybe we can turn it around and get something going, but they get a good little counterattack on us, and it bounces off the post and goes right to one of their players, and they get a 1-0 lead. And nothing happens for the rest of the game. We do not get a goal, we do not get any chances, and they end up winning that game 1-0 and handing us our second loss in a row, which then brings us to the Coventry game that was also simmed, where we were able to get the ball off of a goalie kick and go down and be able to put a nice little chance in from Akeem Peters, who had to start this game, which was really nice to see. And then they, of course, go in the second half, and Coventry City gets a good little passing play in here and ends up being a penalty shot, as someone did cause a foul within the box, and sure enough, they will go on to bury that very nicely in the bottom right corner to go 1-1. And shortly after that, it just doesn't get any better. They get another good pass, good little passing show off here, and get a shot off on Farage and score 2-1 to win that game in the end. It's just a stretch of misery for our club, just not getting any wins in any of these games. And it didn't look like it was going to get any bit better, because now we got West Ham at home, and sure enough, just like the last 3 games, not getting off to good starts at all. West Ham just putting on a passing show again and just go short side on White, and they go up 1-0. Just not a good start. And then 20th minute though, we bounced back very quickly. We weren't going to let that stand. Mane gets it to Pasquale after a great pass from Earthy and leads to an amazing goal to get us back to 1-1 at home, which started to give us a thought maybe we just needed to get over that little hump, as in the 32nd minute, Earthy good pass to Pasquale, and Pasquale just crosses over the ball and gets it in the corner to go up 2-1. Rapid fire goals there, just giving us a good feel again of maybe we are meant for this league, maybe we can do something, as we are up in the lead against the league leaders. As always, can't get too far ahead of yourself. Beginning of the second half, West Ham just dribble the ball around. We're not attacking them. They just pull our defense apart and get another easy tap-in goal there. And it was just not what we needed to see at all. But shortly after, West Ham gets another corner. We thankfully did get a touch on that from Smith, and Waite was able to pick it up. We saw an opening. Mane picks up the ball, runs with all of his might that he has left in him, gets the pass over to Earthy. Earthy gets the Pasquale, and we get a great counterattack on West Ham and are able to take a 3-2 lead in that game. And the home fans were excited, thinking maybe we can hold on to it this time, which we did for the next 30-some minutes. We were able to hold them off and get a win at home in the EFL Championship to give us a feeling that, okay, maybe we do have a chance in this league. We just beat the #1 team in the league. Maybe we have a chance to maybe at least get out of relegation and do something with this. And sure enough, we would. We would go on a little bit of a run against Middlesbrough in our next game, where we would go 5 unanswered. It was the same every time. Counterattack. I think they were playing 3 at the back, so we just started surgically taking apart this team and just not really having to worry about their defense. And then we finally kind of had a goal where we didn't have to worry. But again, that 3-person defense just wasn't working for them, and we were just piling up the goals on them and not giving them a chance to have any good things happen. And our subs were even getting a good amount of goals at the end, and just showing that, yeah, they can be our backups for the rest of the year. So that was really nice to see. Which then brings us to the derby game. And this game, now we're starting to get the first goals in these games. We get all the way to the second half, and we get a beautiful goal again from 2 great passes through their defense to Pasquale to take the lead right off the rip there. And then shortly after, sadly, Derby does get a good little passing show again here. Just not... we weren't doing the right things on the clear, obviously, and then they just dribble it in and get a shot, and we were not able to get another goal. We did have some chances, but we were just unable to get another shot off in the back of the net. Which brings us to Wrexham. As everybody knows, the Wrexham story, it's got a lot of history behind it. So Wrexham in this save are obviously trying to hopefully get promoted too, but that is not the case after our wonderful little start in the game here. 5 minutes in, we get a goal. Probably one of the quickest ones in the game we've had so far. Mane is able to get one in the first couple minutes. All the way to the second half, we get the ball in our own half. We just make the surgical passes all the way up, and just Earthy gets a good one in there. I was so surprised. I'm like, where has this been all season? The team has not changed since the beginning of the season, and now we're just making all the right passes and getting the ball into the places we need to, and it just kept showing off. I mean, we kept piling it up every 10 minutes or so. Akin Peters gets one. We get all the way to the 90th minute, and we take the ball away from them. We go all the way down and are able to get another sweet little goal from Charles Cook. He taps it in. 4 shots and 4 goals for the squad that game. Great to see that against Wrexham, which then brings us all the way to the Preston game, where for the first time we did not get the start we wanted. 4 minutes in, and they're putting on a cheeky little attack, and they get a great header to go up super early in this game. It just wasn't looking good from the start. We're like, oh boy, did we meet our match now? Did we run out of steam? Are we going to struggle here? Thankfully, we were able to go roughly 20 minutes later and put in some few good passes and bounce right back at home and go up, tie it 1-1. Just a good set of plays there. And then shortly after that, Preston gets a shot at dribbling around, us not attacking them, sitting back, and they just get to pass it around and surgically take care of our defense and get another sweet goal there in the 30th minute to go 2-1 up. And it wasn't looking any better either. Very shortly after that, they get another attack, and again, we're not attacking. They're just surgically taking apart our defense and just get another quick goal there to go 3-1 up. Which then brings us all the way to the 65th minute, where we thought things are just not getting good. We're not getting any good attempts on track, but then Fofana gets a shot off here. Thankfully, we were able to make a goal out of that horrendousness to bring it back to 3-2. And then in the 80th minute, we got a corner. We didn't really take the corner. We passed it off, and we just were like, we're going to do it this way, get some passes off. And Yasim was able to get a pass off to Mane, and Mane was able to put it in the back of the net to make it 3-3 on the doorstep of the final part of the game. Which then was like, I think we can win this. We have the upper hand. We've had the possession on this team. We can probably get an attack here. We get a good interception from Preston. Charles Cook takes it down, passes it up to Akin Peters. Akin passes it to Mane, and Mane gets another amazing goal. Mane was on a heater this game, and he scores the winner for us at 4 3, which is what we needed. This was ever since that West Ham game, it was just a turning point for us. We just started stringing the games together and giving ourselves a really good chance at getting back up into the mid-table at least and setting ourselves up good for the future. Then Norwich game, we get off to a hot start. We get off first in roughly the 39th minute. Earthy puts it in. That is what we needed in this away game after that Preston game, to go into this Norwich game and set what we needed. We don't get a good clear off of the corner, and sure enough, the man, the myth, the legend, Sargent puts it in the back of the net. That hurt. We should have cleared it way better than that. We did not. So they made it 1-1. We didn't get anything until the 75th minute, where we were able to get a great pass through to Pasquale and take the lead in the 77th minute. Crucial, we needed something to go our way. We were dominating this game to where we should have won with a lot more goals, but then we just could not hold on to anything because Norwich takes the ball right off the kickoff, pass it around, surgically just taking apart our defense and putting the goal in to make it 2-2. But as you can see, shortly after that, right off the kickoff, we are able to put a little bit of a play together here in the 85th minute and put something together here. Mane to Fofana to Pasquale, who gets a shot off and rockets it into the left side of the goal. Everyone's running around, super excited like we just won the game, but it's not over yet. The manager, Jose, had to remind everyone, let's calm down. We still got a little bit of game left. And as you'll see, they had a corner. They had a chance. We finally got a good clear. Pasquale was able to pick it up and run it down as no one was attacking him. So he just kept running with it. The game is over basically, but we chipped it over. Fofana gets it and he taps it in to make it 4-2 in front of this Norwich squad. And this was, the second half of this fall season was that was the turning point for this squad, and it was desperately needed as we now can take a look at the league table. We moved all the way up to 7th in the league from pretty much dead last the way we started. After 25 games, we had 12 wins, 4 draws, and 9 losses. And the majority of those losses came right at the beginning of the season. At least half of those or more, at least 5 or 6 of those came right at the beginning of the season. So we do a little bit better at not sacrificing a lot of those losses so far, and we are right there with Watford and Sheffield and Wolves. We could be right there on the doorstep with them for automatic promotion, but unfortunately we're down in 7th. We'll take it. If we can somehow stay on the doorstep of a playoff run, we will take that right now. So that's where we left off. In the EFL Cup, we did not show round 2, but we did lose 4-0 to Burnley in that, which Burnley was in the Premier League at this time, and they took apart our team. They were moving 10 times faster, and we were just struggling to keep up with it. So that's kind of where we sit after the first half of season 3. 7th in the league. West Ham and Southampton way up there at the top of the league table. Southampton, we did finish 1-1 against them. We played West Ham and we won that game 3-2. Our next game was against Southampton, who took first after that game against West Ham, and we finished 1-1. So we did steal points from both of the top teams in the league, which made us feel a little bit better, like, okay, we might be getting something together here. So that was really good to see from the squad, and set ourselves up good for the second half. So, yeah. If you want to watch the streams live when this is all happening, go follow the Twitch and the YouTube, as we do stream on both. The YouTube streams are the archive for the streams, so when those are finished and done, they just get archived and they're good to go, and we're all set to go, and you can go watch those and see it all live and in the moment hearing my commentary at that time. So yeah, go follow both of those and watch them live and get to see the magic in person. And then if you need ever a quick recap, that's what this is here for, to get the quick recaps and see what happens as we go. But super excited to see how this season will end off. As you can see, 7th place is kind of on the doorstep of the Premier League in a weird way. So if we could push for playoffs again, that is great. But again, according to the board, we're kind of seen to be here at least for 2 years before we push for promotion. We were just supposed to avoid relegation again this year and finish mid-table within 2 seasons. So I'm not really getting too worried about our positioning. I think mid-table is very possible, but if we're going to be on the doorstep of the playoffs by a point, we need to push for it. So we're gonna try to push for that. So thank you everyone for all the support on this series. Much appreciated. Yeah, go hit the subscribe button if you're loving the series. Hit the like button if you're liking these too. And I will see you all in the next video or our next stream to see how this series is going on. Much appreciated. Don't go changing. See you all next time. Peace.